So today we have Tracy Piper with us, who I've been seeing now for like 6 years, which is crazy.
Yes.
Tracy called me a pizza face when I first came to see her, which is harsh, but the reality. I also saw Rosie Huntington Whiteley leaving your office the first day I ever met you, and I was like, okay, like I can get into this.
Right.
Tracy is also the author of the Piper Protocol, which is an amazing book, which everyone should get. But Tracy, it's 2017. We have lots of different therapies that we need, and Tracy is a colon therapist. I like to call her my internal fitness doctor. Like I said, I've been seeing her for a long time now. I go through sprouts where I'm seeing her maybe once a week for 2 months. And then I kind of take maybe like a 5-month break, and then we come back and do a whole like once a week for 2 months type of thing.
Right, reset,
exactly. So Tracy is to me Mother Earth as a human. That's what I like to call you.
I love when you said that.
It's
Christmas.
true.
I was like, oh, I love that.
It's so true. So I want to talk about gut health, obviously. So can you give us a little bit, just kind of like break it down from the basics for people who don't really know about their gut? Because I feel like people come to see you for all different reasons, beauty reasons, weight management, but also preventative wise for diseases, or you've talked to me about how a lot of women come to see you regarding fertility.
Right.
So can you just maybe give us a little bit about the basics of gut health, just so that the people at home can kind of have like a base knowledge?
Well, gut health, basically health and illness begins in the colon. And a lot of us don't realize that the majority of our central nervous system is actually in the gut. So when we're thinking, they say the second brain, I really think that the second brain is not really the gut, but it's actually the first brain is the gut. Because when something's wrong, you're walking down a dark alley, or you feel something. You hear people talk about that gut feeling.
Yes.
So I think you get that first, and then your brain kicks in.
Right.
That's just so I reverse it a little bit.
Okay.
And your immune system starts in your gut. So when we're getting sick, or when we have issues with our skin and so forth, or even anxiety or emotional disturbances, you look at your gut first. That's how I look at it. I think Dr. Thomas Raw in Switzerland always says to treat differently is to think differently. And so if you're just looking at one aspect of a person and not the whole thing, you're gonna miss so many different things that may pop up. So for gut health, to me, I start there with everything. When I walk into the door, I start analyzing people. So I look at their skin, I look at the shape of their eyebrows, I look at what's going on in their forehead, what's going on around their mouth, and so forth, or even their gait. My background started in physical therapy, and then massage and acupuncture, and then I went into colonics. So just the way someone walks, I know where there's the chi is being stuck in that area. So I try to incorporate all of that into my session and not just concentrate on just the gut. So I'll work on, as you know, with acupuncture, I'll do lymphatic work.
Right.
And I make you talk about what's bothering you, and like we're having an emotional session today, and you'll be surprised how you can have a talk therapy and how that affects your gut, how you're holding on to things that you think is not affecting you.
Right. For instance, I feel like when I'm trying to like hold back tears, I feel it in my stomach.
Yes.
And in my throat.
Because your throat, basically that's your chakra, and you need to speak your truth. And if you're not speaking your truth, you're gonna bury it.
It's
you
like
get stuck there.
suffocating.
Yeah, and we call that plum pit chi in Chinese medicine. Plum pit chi. It's kind of like it's not a physical plum, but it's like this energy that's just not moving.
Stagnant.
Yeah, stagnant inside there. So like, I was going through a rough period in 2008, and I just was not speaking my truth, and I ended up with thyroid issues, and ended up with stage 0 thyroid cancer, and I started gaining all this weight, and I couldn't figure out what the problem was, and it was just I was not speaking my truth. And actually, Dr. Alejandra Younger from Clean was like, "Well, you need to just get rid of your cancer." And I'm like, that's what I'm trying to do," and he goes, "No, your real cancer, the problem in your life," and I was like, oh, she goes, "You're not speaking your truth. You're not saying what's bothering you." So when I started talking about what was bothering me, things started shifting. The energy shifted in my body, and just the way I was thinking, I'm like, my health comes first. My internal fitness comes first, and so that's when I started working on the emotional aspect of the gut,
Right.
along with the physical aspect of what you're eating and how you're eating, how you're preparing your food, and how you're absorbing your food. Because not just what you eat, it's
Right,
how you're
because
eating it.
because what you do supports your internal
Terrain.
like your physical supports your internal.
Exactly. So like with you, like I think we are like perfect, like external, internal fitness, because you're, you know, people come to you like they're like, wow, Hannah looks so beautiful. I'm like, and for me, I'm like, yeah, but I want to know what's going on inside your body.
Right.
I want to work on your internal fitness.
Right.
You know, so that's my
And
my
I always
workout.
say, people always say to me like, oh, like how can I? What do you do? Should I be doing it too? And I'm like, well, everybody's different.
Exactly.
And everybody's gut is different, and everyone reacts in different ways to different things. So I think that's why I'm always talking about going on your own journey of self-care.
Exactly.
Because everyone's journey is different.
Exactly. Because someone can have like constipation. Let's just put it out there. It's the topic that everyone knows Tracy likes to talk about.
Yeah.
But like constipation, why are you constipated? And the different definition of constipation. So some people will say, well, constipation for me is I don't go to the bathroom for a week or 2 weeks. I have people who go to the bathroom once a month, even up to 6 weeks.
What?
Some once a day. If you're having 3 meals a day, you should have 2 to 3 bowel movements a day. I'm not talking about like snacks, but like real meals, like your breakfast, your lunch, and your dinner. You should have 3 bowel movements a day.
Okay.
So if someone tells me to go into the bathroom once, I know, well, you're having constipation, but it's called an incomplete bowel movement. So you're not 100% not going to the bathroom, but you're giving something. And if you look at a plate of food, if you have a plate of food and it's like, you know, like say this size, when you add in the digestive enzymes in your body, when you add in your saliva, when you add in the hydrochloric acid, see how big that is already? So now, when you go to the bathroom, are you releasing all of that? If you're going to the bathroom and it's just pebbles, so that means it's dry, it's dehydrated. If it's hard to come out and you have to push, that means are you not having enough oils in your system to lubricate the lining of the colon? So all these things, are you absorbing the nutrients that you're taking in? Like from instance, for me, I was like, well, I'm doing all the right things. Why is my weight such a problem? Come to find out, I wasn't absorbing anything. I was taking B12 and it was high in my blood work, but yet I was like exhausted.
Right.
And then I found out that I had this MTHFR thing, what they call the mother gene, where you don't detox. So my fat cells swell up. And this I find with a lot of people who've been calling me since with my book, I'm doing the right thing, I'm doing this, but yet the scale isn't going anywhere. Mm-hmm. And so I'm like, are you detoxing? And so maybe it's not about the food or your exercise, but you're not detoxing. Your body's holding on to the toxins as a protective barrier. Your fat cells are swelling up, holding on to the toxins on the outer part, creating inflammation in your body,
right,
which makes you look puffy or you feel bloated all the time. And so this might be an issue that's going on. You're not detoxing. Your liver's not letting go of the toxins.
Got it.
And that can be a form of constipation as well, where are you constipated because it's a mental issue?
Right.
What's going on in your life,
Is it
stress-wise?
anxiety?
Is
Right.
it anxiety? Is there stress in your life, whether it's personal, whether it's work? You know, different things.
I'll never forget when I sent one of my girlfriends to you. We'll leave her name out of it. And she called me immediately and she said, Tracy told me that I'm holding my poop hostage.
Yes.
I was like, oh my God.
I'm like, seriously? It's like, yes. I'm like, why won't you let this go?
Because it is emotional.
It's emotional. And then once you start talking about things, and that's what I love about the work that I do, like when someone starts reaching their truth and we talk about things and they feel comfortable with your colon therapist and you start releasing it, you just see that water change. You feel that person's body just let go. Mm-hmm. And sometimes, you know, I get where people just cry or they get quiet or they start calling names and I'm like,
Really?
okay. And I don't take anything personal. I'm like, it's not about me. It's about you releasing however
Right.
you need to release. So it's like sometimes we're working and we're chit-chatting about every little thing. And then all of a sudden I'll notice you get quiet. I'm not like, oh, she doesn't want to talk to me right now. I'm like, okay, I need to hold space with her right now.
Right.
She's processing something that's coming up during her session, and I need to hold space there. And I'll go through different parts on your back, hence why I have you on your side. And I'm checking different acupuncture points to see what wakes up something. And sometimes I'll get to your liver and I'm like, okay, something's bothering her. And I'll just stay there and I'll just like massage that area in a clockwise position because I want that energy to move out.
Right.
You know, or maybe I'll go down if you're telling me you have to do something or shoot and you're a little not too sure about it, I go down to your kidney area and I work on that because that's fair. So I work on that area and I watch you release it. I'm like, okay, she's gone. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, remember this? And I'm like, okay, that's over. Wait, next. You know, what's next to come?
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
And then that's also, I feel like that's why you also incorporate acupuncture because that also helps with the releases.
Exactly, because the chi, your energy can be stuck.
Right, because it's not just about a physical release, it's about an energy and emotional release as well.
Exactly. Even with the lymph, if someone, a lot of people in America don't talk about the lymphatic system. It's the sewer system of the body. It's where your body starts dumping out things. Think of the sanitation trucks going around the whole area, and it collects from different areas. So you have your terminus here, you have your armpits, you have your, by your diaphragm, you have your tummy area, and your groin. You have a majority of those lymph nodes in your gut area. So I spend a lot of time working on that, and it's very light. It's like right underneath the skin surface. So you don't go deep because then you're squashing them. Just very light movement, and all of a sudden you'll see things starting to move. You don't. For me, for colonics, it's not just about getting poop out, but I want to move that shit. I want to get those toxins out. I want those cells to detoxify. I want that lymph to move because with that lymph moving, now you're releasing chemical toxins. I'm doing liver pumping on you to get your liver to dump all that crap from, like, the fact we live in New York City and we're inhaling exhaust, we're inhaling benzene, we're, the things that we put on our skin. So, like talking about skin and your hair and so forth, what you put on your skin, you're supposed to be able to eat.
Right.
Because when you're putting something on your skin, it's being absorbed anyway through your pores. So you want to make sure that when I put like a lotion on my skin, it's actually coconut. I use coconut oil. I buy 2 from Whole Foods, 1 for the kitchen and 1 for my bedroom. And I make sure, I'm like, oh God, this looks so horrible with just like this coconut thing. Does not look romantic. So I get a nice little like glass container and I melt it and I put it in there.
And I
let it harden. Or sometimes put a little bit of essential oils in there.
Oh, that's nice.
So you have a different scent. Yeah, like you could use lavender, which helps to relax you. You could use rosemary, which does the same thing, but kind of make things move slowly.
Right.
You can use lemon, which is very good for detoxing your liver. So there's so many different,
it's a great
things
idea.
you can do to just make it a little bit more romantic than just like I'm putting sovereign coconut oil on my skin. Even with the colonics, I only use either coconut oil or olive oil. You got to be able to eat it.